Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. Man, we are less than a week out. We are literally days out before we get to see the monster, Naoya Inoue, and La Pantera, the Panther, LuisNery, as Naoya Inoue defends his undisputed crown at the 122-pound division. I've been doing the breakdowns. I've been getting the lowdowns. I've been doing the skinny. I've been listening. I've been waiting. I've been watching. And all I can think about is all these different topics where many people are asking this question as to whether or not LuisNery can pull a Buster Douglas on one Naoya Inoue in that fateful night when Mike Tyson got his dome split. Because just like Mike Tyson, as far as boxing history, Naoya Inoue is only the second boxer since Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas in that huge upset to ever fill out the Tokyo Dome. Naoya Inoue is the man. He's going to pack that Tokyo Dome. I heard the tickets sold out in minutes. We know that he's in his 5th division. He's double undisputed, get ready to defend it against a guy that has a 77%, almost 80% knockout ratio. Naoya Inoue got an 88% knockout ratio, creeping up on that 90%. And I've been looking at all the different angles, and I'm like, oh, can it punch his chance and up there? It's like, yes. Hey, 27 knockouts, that's nothing to shake a stick at. Absolutely. We know that LuisNery, the Panther, we know that he has knockout power. We know that he can put you out there. He will pull the trigger. He will get you up out of there. So we know. But I had to break it down. I said, okay, well, cool. Like, I already know that I'm going to prefer my man Naoya anyway. I said, but how can I make it make sense? Well, one of the things is because weight has always been a problem, and that's the constant conversation. So I wanted to get out and get ahead of it. One of the things we got to realize with LuisNery is that he's been bouncing around with his weight. When he fought Brandon Figueroa, he was at 122. He went up to 128. He dropped down to 119, and now he's coming back up to 122. Roy Jones can actually tell us and attest to, and there's the smaller weights, yes, granted, but fluctuating in weights, when you come up and down, it puts a lot of stress and strain, losing muscle, cutting weight, gaining, working on your speed, like, it wears on your joints differently when you fluctuating in weight. Naoya Inoue is coming off, he had 2 fights. He's coming off his 2 fights at 122. And now he's getting ready to defend it. And he's pretty much been consistent. Before that, he fought Paul Butler, weighed at 117 3/4. So even when he weighed in at 122, he comes in at 121 3/4. He's just that precise. So when he was weighing in at 118, he was coming in at 117 3/4. And at 122, he's coming in at 121 3/4. He's calculated. That's one of the things I applaud, just like Bud, as far as keeping themselves regular, staying in shape, staying active, things like that. So I've been looking at this whole thing, and I say, okay, cool. Outside of the fluctuation of the weight with LuisNery, what else can I attest to? I say, well, when I look at it, Brandon Figueroa went the distance with Stephen Fulton, and that was not a unanimous decision, right? At 122. But Stephen Fulton had fought all those undefeated fighters and champions and this and this and that. Later on, saw an interview with Stephen Fulton, say he didn't train as hard, he didn't do this, maybe he did underestimate, but he don't want to relive it, blah, blah, blah. Not going to beat that dead horse. But when I looked at that fight with Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton, it was a point in time in that fight where Figueroa actually could stop Stephen Fulton. Almost did. I look at the comparison and people don't do triangle theories. I do. I'm just not going to limit to a triangle. I'm going to give you the facts, the fruit and veggies behind the topic. But when I look at that fight, I say, okay, well, Brandon Figueroa actually stopped LuisNery in 7 rounds when he was at 122. This was the last time he was at 122. Stopped him in 7 rounds. The guy, according to the numbers, who get hit the most in boxing actually stopped LuisNery at 122 pounds. Didn't do that to Fulton. And also, when I'm looking at the numbers in an activity, because they both can crank up an activity. Neither one of them are nearly as accurate, as the other. But what I can say is that Brandon Figueroa hit LuisNery less times than LuisNery hit Brandon Figueroa, and Brandon Figueroa stopped him in 7 rounds. I don't smell an upset. I think this is business as usual. A lot of people want to hate on the young man, Naoya Inoue. Very mature. If you ask for anything in a boxer, he stays out of social media. It's not a lot of juicy gossip. He stays active. Every 90 to 120 days, you're going to see him back in the ring. He's fighting for legacy. He's in his 5th division, 4-weight champion, defending his double undisputed. This is his 2nd defense of undisputed since he got it. You gotta give the salutes to, and me and my old head, we always say, man, we agree on this one thing, that until somebody shows and proves that they can actually deal with the monster, then we have the monster coming out with the victory. LuisNery is a live dog inside the ring. Don't get it twisted. He will pull that trigger. He will put you down if you're not on your A game. So I can say that if Naoya Inoue gets the big head and he's thinking this, which I don't really see because he's very calculated. Very, very calculated. He doesn't play. He grabs the bull by the horns. He takes control of his career. He gives his fan what he wants. You never, even though it's a smaller weight, you never have to question whether he wants to fight the very best. And he brings his A game. What I think is going to come down to is Naoya Inoue being more calculated. I think that maybe if he cranks, because a lot of people are reasoning that the work rate of LuisNery is going to may be able to give Naoya Inoue problems. And I say, yeah, probably kind of like, if you mean problems, almost like if you look back at a fight like between Tank and Santa Cruz, Leo Santa Cruz. Yes, with that high work rate, Tank had to, take his time. Yes, he probably got hit a little bit more than people are accustomed to him seeing, but in the process, being a patient fighter that he is, it was only a matter of time. Even the comment said, if Leo Santa Cruz thinks he's going to impose his will on Tank Davis, and it was over. That's the kind of devastating accuracy, and that's one of the things that Naoya Inoue is. Far less activity, but way better quality. Very accurate. Over 43, you can guarantee in the power punch, which is everything but a jab, he's going to land over 40%. And that's the difference, my friends. I believe that this is probably going to end in about 3 or 4 rounds, unless he wants to carry the fight and give him a show. But I've never known those guys over there, to want people to play with their food. So I don't see it. I hope that it's a good fight. I think it will be a sneaky good fight while it lasts, but I got Naoya Inoue by total devastation. I would love to get your comments. I would love to get your thoughts, your feedbacks. Chime in. Thanks for tuning in here at BodyWorkBoxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.